How do you communicate value? Listen to how some of our experts are doing that in innovative ways in their industries.
If you're engaging in a typical AI problem, you're often asking the company to do something they haven't done before. Now it's different, right? If your company is born out of AI and it's a small startup, there's 3 of you, it's not hard to convince someone to do stuff a slightly different way. Most of the time they're very savvy to what's going on. But when you're talking about an established company and you have to say, hey, it's time that we changed up a little bit. The way I've done this before is I set the stage. I have to show and prove unequivocally there's value in the data science or AI project. There is value to the company. We will make more money. If we make more money, our stock goes up, everybody's happy. That's how you set the stage.
Yeah, when you're trying to sell an AI project, you need, I think you need 2 tools. You need the traditional tools, so you need to be able to at least start to articulate, what a return on investment might look like, or where the savings might be, or where the new revenue opportunities are. So you have to speak that language because it's traditional. But I think you also have to come armed with I say sort of a new approach. So some of the ideas with AI and some of the algorithms, it might be difficult to figure out exactly where the ROI is going to be. And so you need to come in with a more innovative approach and say, here's 3 or 4 different projects. We think that these 3 or 4 are all pretty good. Most likely one of them is going to be great and one's going to be mediocre and one's going to fail, but I don't know ahead of time which those are going to be. And so it's almost like if you're championing these kind of solutions, you almost also want to champion more of a portfolio approach so that you're trying to solve more than one problem at a time.
I think you really need to have a common language when you're talking up and down the chain, both a common language and also a nuanced language for whom you are talking to. So one of the toughest things I think is that the definition of AI, and specifically whatever the domain is really quite different depending on what kind of knowledge you have. And so sort of setting the table first is saying, okay, we are talking about a machine that does X and Y, right? Sort of setting that first, and then bringing people who are on the business side to saying, what's the vision? Like, where will this go? What will this do for your business? How is it going to bring, more revenue to the table? Who is it going to engage, and so on? And on the side of the technical people, or maybe even the people that think about who the users are of this, explaining why it's going to change the user experience. So I think you have to understand what their pain points are, whoever you're talking up to the executives. It might be, well, I don't want to spend on something new. Down to the product team, it may be, well, who are you trying, how do you get that funnel to be bigger so that you can bring in more business? So I think that's part of the challenge here.
How is your organization organized? Is it structured by functional areas? Does it appreciate and foster cross-team collaboration? Because I think the biggest thing I've seen, I've made this mistake, but I see it in colleagues as well, is you get stuck in your functional role. And I think especially for something like analytics and artificial intelligence that requires so much cross-functional knowledge and awareness, it doesn't respect boundaries in a way. To be successful in AI, to be successful in analytics is not respectful to functional boundaries. So you also have to adopt that mindset. Look around the room. It might be a figurative room of like, do I have the perspective from everybody I need? Have I talked to marketing? Have I talked to my engineers? Have I talked to senior management? Have I talked to people who are on the line just to figure out whatever problem I'm trying to solve? Do I know how they are impacted by that? So in some ways, it's a willingness to work beyond your described role and ask a lot of questions to people and learn what they do.